Welcome to History Jeopardy! Canadian-American Relation Edition. I am your host, Anano Man. Let's meet our contestants. Luca, Athena, and Kat.
Zebra.
Luca, choose one.
I'll choose Cultural Influences 1939 to 1968.
How did CBC, being the only Canadian-based channel available, impact Canadian viewers?
Canadians only had a taste of American culture since everyone was watching American television.
The second part is true or false. True or false? Did Canadian musicians leave Canada to join American-based bands?
True.
Correct! Luca's on fire!
Yeah.
Athena, choose the next one.
Political for 1968 to 2000.
What were the laws that the federal government had to amend due to the World Trade Organization decision?
Vegetables are grown in place. The laws the federal government had to amend due to the WTO were the tariff codes to prohibit the import of foreign split-run magazines with more than 5% of their ads directed at the Canadian market.
Correct! In order to get the points, answer true or false. True or false? A tax of 80% had been placed on the value of all advertisements directed towards the Canadian market.
True.
Correct! That's 100 points. Kat, you need to catch up to the others. Choose a question.
Economic 1914 to 1939.
America became Canada's biggest trading partner in the late 1930s. How many more times did Canada trade with the USA compared to Britain?
Like 4 times. Since America became the largest power in the world, Canadians found it easier and faster to trade with America, which strengthened the bond between Canada and America.
Great! Now, explain how the American economy and Canadian economy was related from 1920 to 1939.
Canadian and American economy have always been closely related. In the 1920s, Canadian and American economies soared. With new inventions, quality of life increased. In 1929, the stock market in both Canada and America crashed in the same day. This proves that the economies are so closely related that if one changes, the other one changes too. And that is how American and Canadian economy were tied.
What?
That's right. I know my history, guys.
Okay, that's 400 points for Kat. Okay, so far we have Athena with 100 points,
Howdy.
Luca with 200, and Kat in first with 400 points. Luca, why don't you pick a question?
Political 1939 to 1968.
What was the dew line system?
The Dew Line system was a high-power radar system that was installed in northern Canada that helped the United States track enemy aircraft and missiles.
That is correct. Now, true or false? Canada suggested at the UN General Assembly meeting a special UN peacekeeping force which provided 800 soldiers in the area of the Suez Canal.
True.
Good job! Athena can choose the next question.
Economic 1968 to 2000.
Close economic ties between Canada and America resulted in many different emotions in Canadians. What were those emotions?
Close economic ties between Canada and America resulted in many different emotions in Canadians. Attitudes ranged from admiration and respect for Americans to suspicion, irritation, and antagonism.
Now, there's a common perception in Canada that Americans lack basic understanding about Canada as a or false?
The answer's true. No, I want a cabbage! Vegetables!
No, Cat, it's not vegetables.
No!
Athena is correct and is now in first place.
Quack.
Cat, it's your turn to pick a question.
Political, 1914 to 1939.
How did the Prohibition Law affect the American-Canadian relationship?
The Prohibition Law affected the relationship in both a positive and negative way. Both countries originally had the law, but when Canada let it go, Canadians were illegally selling alcohol to America. It was a learning opportunity for both Canada and America, and they both ended up dropping the law in the end, strengthening the bond between Canada and America.
Great! Now, true or false? Canada and America signed the Treaty of Versailles.
False! America did not sign the Treaty of Versailles, but they did begin the League of Nations, which Canada did join, and it did strengthen the bond once again.
Correct! You're in first place again. Luca, why don't you pick a question?
Economic 1939 to 1967.
How many branch plants were established by American firms?
307 branch plants.
Good. True or false? The St. Lawrence Seaway was formed by the United States.
False. The St. Lawrence Seaway was a joint venture between the United States and Canada.
Stupendous! Now you're tied for first.
Object!
Cat, you cannot object and answer. Great! Now you're in first, Luca. It's a close game, guys. Athena, choose the next question. True or false? The first test tube baby was born in 1983.
False. It was in 1978 that the first test tube baby was born.
Good. Now the next part of the question. Canadians enjoy listening to efforts of the American music scene. What were some of their names?
The artists in the American music scene were artists like Cher, the Sex Pistols, and Queen.
Stupendous! This next question decides the game. Cat, choose the last one.
I picked that one! I picked that one.
Why were the 1920s called the Age of Wonderful Nonsense in Canada and America?
The 1920s were called the Age of Wonderful Nonsense because the silly songs and silly silent Hollywood films from America influenced Canadians. But either way, both countries were just coming out of war and wanted to forget the harsh years before and have fun.
Good job. Now, true or false? America was a hockey fad and Canada was influenced by it.
False! Canada started the hockey fad 10 years earlier, and Americans copied us. Hey, you want to hear my impression of a whale?
No! Thank you. But correct. Wow, a tie? Well, we're going to have a tiebreaker question after the commercial break.
This TV show is brought to you in part by
Juice!
Yum!
Juice is my favorite thing! It's juice!
Okay, so we have a tie to break. Everyone must answer the next question, and whoever's answer is more correct wins 500 points and wins History Jeopardy. The question is, how was Canadian-American relations the most significant theme challenging Canada in the 20th century?
Since our relations with the United States are the strongest, it helped Canada as a country develop both economically and politically.
The Canadian-American relations were important because it helped Canada and America develop as countries economically, politically, and helped develop a relationship between the two countries.
Canadian-American relations were most significant because they are very closely tied economically, politically, and culturally. The ties between Canada and America helped each other's identity and country develop in the 20th century. And that is why Canadian and American relationships were the most significant. That's right. I got it right. I got it right. I got it right. I got it right. $10,000.
So, who was our mystery host? Oh my god! Quack. New York said yeah. New York said yeah. New York said yeah.
Yo! This is not a joke! You have to read this, or we are gonna die!
What's this? There's nothing here.
You have to read this!
Well,
That's so cool!
To the robot.
What am I doing? I don't know. Football! Why did I say that? I don't know. Zebras, zebras. 'Cause I'm backing up. The prohibition law.
Prohibition.
You're ruining my thing. Oh, proper puppy.
Blue drumsticks.
They'll eat you. Beware.
Beware of the drumsticks.
Because they will eat you.
They will eat you.
Eat your face.
They will eat you.
Do like that, Katie. Hi, like waffles. Now it's recording. Pip and Cheerios. Let's go with
us cats sure like to know what that means. Cat sure.
They can also be Harry Potter's wand. Blue, blue, how many